I thought, with the Nichols game, number one, it was great to be back on our home field. Our kids are really road weary, and so to be back here and play in front of our crowd and our fans and play on our home field was awesome. We got obviously a great performance out of Hannah on the mound, throwing a perfect game. There are things, and I've said this before, we were working on trying to iron out some things with her, and I thought that all of that stuff is coming together and coming together at a very good time. So I thought she was, the last two outings, the best that she has been all year. And then flying out to Oklahoma, we went out there because we felt like we would get some great competition. Unfortunately, we got rained out on Sunday, but we were at least able to get our two games in on Saturday, and I thought those were big for us, mainly from a standpoint of, we got our offense going, tried to simplify some things for them, and I think that worked and helped them. We faced good pitching out there. The Freeman kid from Oklahoma State, I think at the time, if I'm not mistaken, was leading the nation in strikeouts. So, I think that was great for our hitters and our offense to get some confidence going into conference play. Wish we could have gotten that last game in because that's a good team. Oklahoma State's a very good team, and we wanted to see that competition, but Mother Nature didn't let us do that, but happy that we could get the two in on Saturday. I thought Saturday was a really big game, really big day for us, especially playing on the road, playing good teams and teams that we aren't familiar with. I would have to go back and look, but I don't think we've played either one of those teams in the history of the program. So, unfamiliar faces, and to be able to kind of get it going and have two big wins, I thought was huge. Well, I think number one, I need to point out and say how proud I am for the body of work we've done up to this point. We've had a tough schedule. We've been on the road, and I think we're 22-3 right now, I think. So for our kids to have put together that kind of a body of work, considering the competition that we faced, and that we've done so much of that on the road, and that, they haven't been on their home field playing that much, I think that says a lot about them. And, that's kind of the first phase of the season, and I think they've done a really good job of taking care of that. There are a lot of things that we've been working on, trying to get better at, and I see young ladies taking steps forward individually, and I think as they do that, I think that helps the whole team. I think for that portion of our season, I'm pretty pleased with it. We have things that we're continuing to work on and trying to get better. But I feel like we've taken care of that part of it for the most part. Now going into conference, that's the part you play all those tough games and you play the road schedule to prepare for that. I won't say that it gets easier from a standpoint of you don't have 5 games on a weekend, but I know that it does back off just a little bit from the standpoint of you're not having to play 5 games in 3 days. 3 games in 2 days, it's a little bit easier on your club. You're going to have the home series and that kind of stuff, so you're not on the road the whole time. So from that standpoint, from the logistics standpoint, and just how hard it is on the kids physically and mentally, that gets a little bit easier. And I think just from a standpoint of we have our goals of what we're wanting to do in conference, so that's exciting because now we get to start working on that aspect of it. Well, I think, one reason we do such a hard schedule early on is to make sure that everyone is acclimated. And our new kids have done a great job. They've done a phenomenal job. We've had, several of them contribute offensively in big ways. And so I think from that standpoint, we're past the point of we have returners and we have new kids. I think now we have a team. So I don't really look at it that way, that we kind of have 2 groups. I feel like everyone at this point has been through it. They know what it looks like. They know what's expected. They know on a daily basis what they're going to have to do in order to compete at a high level. So, I don't look at it anymore like that. I look at it just as one team, and I think that's where we are right now. And, that's what we wanted going into conference. I think everybody knows what expectations are now. I think, we're very blessed to have 4 young ladies who work incredibly hard, and they all care about what they do, and they all care about this team. We have a great catching staff that does a phenomenal job. So, I think when you look at a stat like that, number one, I'm very proud of what, we've been able to accomplish. That's awesome to lead the nation in ERA. I think that's one of those things that's like a program accomplishment, not just those 2 pitchers, but I think, there's so much that goes into that behind the scenes, from a coach's standpoint, from a player standpoint, even managers who catch bullpens. It is truly a team effort, and, we take a lot of pride in that. So, I think what Hannah and Farish have been able to accomplish is phenomenal, and I think that, that needs to be celebrated. I think at the same time, we need to make sure that we point out there are a lot of other people who contribute to that, and that accomplishment is such a team effort. Well, looking forward to playing UT-Arlington, especially looking forward to playing them being on our home field and playing in front of our fans. You know, this year's going to be interesting because we have so many new faces in our conference, and so, you know, with so many teams moving out and then new teams moving in, there will be kind of an adjustment period and an acclimation where we're trying to get acclimated to those teams and how they do things. But you know what? You do your homework on the front end and prepare as much as you can, and then, you know, we're really big on, we try to take care of what we do and not get too caught up in what the other team does. So from that standpoint, I don't think we really try to change anything very much. We just try to go in every day and taking care of the things that we do.
If you would.